Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I am back with another blog to read, and I am struggling today. I know I'm doing all of these videos to encourage other people, but today has been really hard. And it's one of those days where nothing's wrong, but everything's wrong. I don't know if you guys ever have that issue, but that's where I'm at today. And I don't even really want to read this blog to you because I know what is in it, and it's going to be as much for me as it is for anyone else. But I told God that I would share whatever He put on my heart when I first started doing these videos, so this seems to be the one for today. So this is on Psalm 4, verse 5. Yesterday was Psalm 4:4. Wednesday was Psalm 4, verses 2 and 3, and then Sunday was Psalm 4:1. So today is Psalm 4:5, and the synopsis is giving up our strife and dead things in exchange for God's peace and His abundant life. And the title of this blog is letting go of the dead things. So this blog will use the same study, the adapted study method that I have shared in my other Psalm blogs, which is to paraphrase, ask yourself, you decide, and take action. Psalm 4, verse 5 says, offer right sacrifices and trust in the Lord. I'm thinking about this verse in context with verses 1 through 4, and I'm seeing a progression from verse to verse. Verse 1, and these are my paraphrases, if you will, of each verse. Verse 1, I'm in distress, crying out to God and remembering where He's delivered me in the past. Because God was faithful yesterday, I can trust Him to be faithful today. Verse 2, in my distress, I'm more susceptible to listening to the enemy's lies and being tempted with false sources of comfort. Verse 3, God has set me apart to be victorious in Him for His glory. He sees my worth even when I doubt Him. I can trust He will take care of me. I am still His child, and I can rest in Him. Verse 4, as I'm resting in God, sitting with Him, I can take time to search my heart in silence. I can listen for His voice speaking to me about what's in my own heart. My focus stays on Him, not the distress in verse 1. So now, thinking about verse 5, offer right sacrifices and trust in the Lord. As I was thinking on this verse, a song from when I was growing up came to mind, and the words to this song say, we bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and we offer up to you the sacrifices of joy. Did anyone else sing that song back in the day? I had no idea what those words meant when I was a kid. Thinking about the word sacrifices now is bringing to mind the Israelites offering sacrifices to atone for their sins, to receive forgiveness, to be washed clean. But what does that mean for me? I already have forgiveness and atonement for my sins through Jesus' sacrifice of His own life for me on the cross. So what right sacrifices do I offer? Reading other versions of this verse, I'm seeing a difference in the wording. The King James Version says, offer the sacrifices of righteousness. But what is the meaning of that? The original word for sacrifices in this passage is, and I'm sure I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, so I'm just going to spell it, Zebach. And these are the various definitions of that word. Number 1, sacrifices of righteousness. Number 2, sacrifices of strife. 3, sacrifices of dead things. 4, the covenant of sacrifice. 5, the Passover. 6, annual sacrifice. And 7, thank offering. I'm thinking about these definitions in light of verses 1 through 4. I'm calling out to God in my distress. I'm remembering his faithfulness. I'm looking to him as my true source of comfort. I'm resting in him. I'm sitting with him in silence, searching my heart, listening for his voice. And what do I hear him say? And in my journaling, what I'm about to read is what I heard God say. Give me your strife. Give me your dead things. Be thankful for what I'm doing. Give me your praise and your thanksgiving, even when you're distressed, especially when you're distressed. It will be a sacrifice. It will be hard. You won't want to do it. But if you give me your strife, I will give you peace. If you give me your dead things, I will give you life. If you give me your thanksgiving in the hard places, I will give you joy. Trust me with your striving, your dead things, and your hard places. Trust in me, and I will fill up all of your empty spaces with what I want you to have, with what I want to bless you with. Ask yourself, what am I striving over or after that I can offer to God? What dead things am I holding on to that I can let go of? What am I grateful for that I can give thanksgiving to God? Are there hard places or people causing me distress that God is asking me to release and trust him with? Is God asking me to stop viewing those situations and those people from a perspective of distress? Is he asking me to start finding ways to offer praise and thanksgiving to him for those situations and those people? Instead of doing a you decide and a take action, I chose to write out answers to the questions above. Here's what I did with a few of my own examples. Things I'm striving for: control, perfection, acceptance, validation, always being right, always having the last word. Dead things: past mistakes, viewing myself negatively, dread, anxiety, people-pleasing, insecurities. Situations or people causing me distress: my kids, my job, being tempted to use food as a false source of comfort. Excuse me. What I'm thankful for: God's grace, unlimited second chances, learning to let go of pride and being able to say I'm sorry to my kids, learning to appreciate what's good about someone without taking on their negativity or manipulation, learning to navigate relationships and uncomfortable situations with God instead of food, the truth that I am who God says I am, chosen, accepted, his child, his special possession. For me, this wasn't easy, but taking the time to think through each of these categories helped me to have clarity on what God was asking me to let go of. Also, it was a really great opportunity to look at stressful situations and people when I wasn't emotional about them, to think clearly about what I'm learning in those areas and be able to find things within those situations that I'm thankful for. I'm praying that you will have the courage and willingness to try it for yourself. You might be surprised by what you hear God speaking to you. So that's my blog on Psalm 4 verse 5, and I wrote this maybe 2 years ago, and it is funny to me that the things that I am struggling with today are almost the exact same. I wouldn't say the same because I feel like I have grown in a lot of areas, but a lot of the things I think I'm struggling with are the same things, but they just, stuff takes on a different depth the further along we go. So anyway, I hope that there was something encouraging or helpful in this blog for you today. And I am probably going to read back through this for myself and just take some time to hear from God and see what is it that I can let go of for today, and what can I be grateful for, because gratitude always seems to refocus me on how good God is, and how ever bad I think my day is, there's always something to be grateful for, and it could always be worse. And like I said at the beginning of the video, nothing's really wrong. It's just, the same situation that everybody's in. I don't want to be in this house anymore, and there's nowhere to go, and blah blah blah. So that's everybody's situation. But it's still, it's still frustrating. So I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with a better attitude, and I will be reading from my blog on Psalm 4 verse 6, and I hope everyone has a good rest of their Saturday, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye.